Never super over. Oh, yes, sir! You bet your roll, you are! Go Gamba!
From Sachin Tendulkar to Virat Kohli.
As a captain and as a player, I wouldn't want to keep being part of such games, but Punjab Kings is not for the light-hearted.
If you could create a career that doesn't currently exist, what would it be?
Singer.
That exists, brother.
Gets it back with a point. It's going to run away for four and it'll be it. Kolkata Knight Riders are the champions.
Boom.
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 We are back.
We are back.
We got energy today.
Oh, yes, we do.
What's your name?
My name is Nick Cates. My pronouns are he and him, and I am buzzing with energy in anticipation of another big tilt at 7 a.m. tomorrow, and another big tilt at 3 a.m. tomorrow.
Pacific, that is.
Pacific.
My name is Ariane Ori, and my pronouns are he, him. And before we get into the big week that we had, huge week that we had in IPL cricket, as they say, I want to pivot a little bit to science.
Science?
We made a scientific well, we know a little bit about science. We made a scientific discovery.
A couple of things. We're both acting majors, but we're very well known. We're not like Justin Herbert, who majored in biology.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
There's a huge scientific discovery made a couple days ago.
Wow.
A few days ago.
Wow.
I can't remember the exact date. So we all know about Halley's Comet, right? Halley's Comet orbits the sun and is visible from Earth once every 75 years.
Yes.
We know this.
We know this. But the great Indian scientist, Mr. Sanjay Mandraker,
he discovered
something huge.
What we are now calling Maxwell's Comet, TM, trademark pending, because he scores once in every 75 matches.
And he just fucking scored. God damn it.
And that's now, there goes 74 other games.
Do you want to hear even worse news?
I love hearing bad news.
I found things to love about Glenn Maxwell.
You know what? That's a great segue into the LSU PBKS game, unless there's something you want to talk about first before you get
No, this was the game
you're talking about?
Started. Well, also the Rajasthan game, but yeah, Glenn started to win me over, guys.
You mean the game?
Not happy about it.
The game that you guys got absolutely annihilated started to make you like Glenn Maxwell?
Yeah, because he was the only guy other than Nehel Vadera and Arsh who played well.
Okay.
And I have to say something, man.
Please.
You know, they have that great rhyme and phrase in cricket, catches win matches.
Yes.
And as I've evolved as a cricket fan, I've started to learn... Barely. I know.
Jokes.
You joke, but...
you only have a podcast about
You
it.
joke, but we're both actors. I'm really just playing a character who knows ball. Like, the real me still thinks cricket's an insect. That's not true. That's fake news. I never said that. Anyway, back to Glenn. I have really begun to appreciate the finer points of fielding, especially this season. And I gotta say, if you look at the scorecards and you see who has been taking the catches for the PBKS, it be Glenn, man. It's Glenn up and down. It's Maxwell. We even had, in the LSG game, caught Chahal bowled Maxwell, and then caught Maxwell bowled Chahal.
Wow. So a bit of tit for tat action going on.
A little bit, yeah. Like Chahal saying, you send a screamer to me at third man. Well, guess what?
Fine leg.
Wasn't fine. It was kind of third man.
Fine leg, Nick.
Whatever. Send one to me at fucking.
Because it was Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant's a lefty, Nick. Ugh.
Rishabh Pant bats right-handed and Rohit Sharma bats left-handed, and I am owning this forever. Also, like, the fielding positions are the steepest learning curve in cricket, and I still mix them up sometimes.
That's fair, dude. Hey, listen, we're all human.
We're all human.
You're gonna hear so many Trump impressions from us, because I don't know why we've been doing it so often. But
it's because we have to cope, buddy.
We're gonna cope hard. Let's get through the PBKS games first and foremost, because there's a lot of subject matter there.
There is.
Let's start with my analysis, then you can go deeper into it, because I as somebody who's not attached to neither team that Punjab played nor Punjab themselves, I want to say I was very impressed by Punjab in the.
I'm going to push back on that slightly. Mm-hmm. I do feel like we kind of have a negative association with LSG, which I'm sure you're going to get into.
Oh yes, we're going to get into that big time. Okay, so. But not the players, though. I can't, yeah.
No, not the players.
It's such a dichotomy. Because
not the players. We love a lot of guys on LSG.
Yes, we do. We do. And you know what? Especially Rishabh Trousers. I want to talk about...
I could also never hate Abdul Samad. And you know what? Controversial opinion for a PBKS fan, because he kind of behaved like a jackass against us, but I'm starting to dig Vesh Rutti.
Ah.
Starting to dig Vesh. Okay. This dude can take wickets.
Yeah, he can definitely take wickets. Yeah. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the LSG game first, and then we'll pivot right to the Rajasthan game. So Arshdeep really impressed me. Arshdeep is something. This game was single-handedly what kind of made me come around to Arshdeep, because I think he was very intelligent. He was right on the money, and I think his Yorkers are fantastic, right? And what you're talking about, one thing I want to mention. Well, obviously, let's just go for the recap for those of you who have no idea what happened. Punjab was put into bowl first, right?
Won the toss, I believe.
They won the toss?
My captain.
Captain Shreyas, the captain. He won the toss, chose to field first, and we're seeing a lot of that. That's the trend. Most teams that win the toss now are wanting to chase. And this is not the first time we've seen this in the IPL. People love to chase.
Well, also, most Indian stadiums, there's dew coming in the second innings.
I think Punjab bowling was spot on. I think LSG didn't really do themselves any favors with some of the rash shot selection that we saw. I want to make special note of Rishabh Pant. He has been getting... Let's just go ahead and talk about Sanjiv Goenka, the Sanjiv in the room. Sanjiv Goenka.
The Sanjiv in the room.
He has been, notoriously atrocious in the way he treats his players, right? We saw the infamous KL Rahul slugfest that Sanjiv Goenka dished out to him, following which...
our man cry.
He made him literally cry. And this is not a joke. You can go ahead and look at the clip. KL Rahul was actually crying in the post-match conference presentation or the post-match interview after he was yelled at by Sanjiv Goenka, publicly, mind you. And this is a choice he's making to make it public. He knows that there are cameras rolling all over the stadium, and he's publicly humiliating his captain, which is why, obviously, KL was happy to not be captain at DC and just leave that franchise. He was sick of it, and he was done, and he
left.
May
I point something else out, too?
Please.
This man had to play for RCB. He had to captain Punjab Kings.
Yeah.
Captaining Punjab Kings in the era that KL captained Punjab Kings. And in retrospect, I actually think that his captaincy aged relatively well, because we won more under him than we did probably under either of the successive two captains.
Yep.
He had to captain Punjab Kings through purgatory. And then his reward for all of that was to leave Punjab and work for somebody even worse than the people who own our team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, that's crazy. So now cut to Rishabh Pant, and now we've already have a clip surfaced of Sanjiv Goenka yelling at him, for getting out on duck, and then getting out on 2, and then getting out on however little runs he's been scoring. Obviously, in this game, he scored 2. But I want to say, as much as Sunny Gavaskar and I probably disagree about the manner in which Rishabh Pant got out and how that looks or felt, I'm proud of him for the way he got out. Glenn Maxwell bowled a half-tracker down leg stump, and he went for...
As he does.
And let me tell you something. As a batsman with low confidence, with no good innings under his belt in a while, and as a captain who's losing games, to play that shot pretty fearless.
Well,
and I'm proud that he's retained his shape.
When you look at the Punjab bowling lineup, like, I'm sorry, but
That's okay.
Glenn is the guy that your eyes are lighting up.
Of
when
course.
he's coming into you. He's the guy you're going to go for. If you're blocking against Glenn Maxwell, I don't know, maybe Sanjiv wouldn't be mad at that because he truly is a fucking idiot. But,
Yeah.
like, if I were paying Rishabh Pant 27 crores, I would much rather him go for it against Glenn Maxwell than not.
Yeah, 1,000%. And that's why Maxwell gets wickets.
Honestly, original sin of Sanjiv Goenka fucking getting rid of the original LSG uniforms, which were cool.
But what do they look like?
They were like aqua. They were kind of sick, man. The first season LSG uniforms were sick, and then he fucking ruined them. Ugh. Sanjiv Goenka, we do not like you, buddy.
I don't think he's put a foot right in his life. Yeah, you're right. I like the aqua blue. I don't know why he went darker.
And more importantly, when he went darker, he made his uniforms look like GT, which were always Navy, and MI.
Yep.
Which were like, there's somewhere in between. They took out the Pantone and they found GT and they found MI, and he just went right in the middle of it, and he was like orange accents.
Yes. Now, let's get into this question that I have for you. Which catch was better? Chahel's off Maxwell or Maxwell's off Chahel?
Probably Chahel's off Maxwell. I
disagree.
Really? I mean, it was a straightforward catch, but I don't know. Glenn just has such big hands. He does have a big advantage.
Glenn?
Yeah.
But I always think that boundary catches, they're in the air longer and they're further away and they're always
It's
harder
true. It's
than
true.
chipping it right to Chahel.
I will say this, though. The only catch that I think of and remember of this match was the Ayush Badoni, Ravi Bishnoi double number to dismiss Prob, which we'll get there, but that was kind of perfect.
Yep. That was beautiful. But anyway, so, with regard to Punjab bowling, I think they didn't really put a foot wrong. Even Marcus Stoinis, who normally goes for runs, he didn't bowl that great. I mean, Pooran took him to the cleaners. A couple of deliveries, but he only gave 15 and 2 overs. And in fact, only Arsh had an economy rate of higher than 10.
Well, and that's what I really wanted to say about Arsh. I thought he bowled really, really well, and the biggest contribution that Arsh had was taking the wicket of Mitchell Marsh in the power play. He is the only bowler in the IPL who has been able to get Mitchell Marsh out cheaply this season, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for bowling intelligently there. He did go for a lot of runs in the death overs. What I really want to give Arshdeep credit for is as soon as the innings ended, he walked directly over to the interview tent and said, "I bowled poorly."
Yeah.
And took full accountability for leaking, admittedly, just a couple of runs in the death overs that the Punjab batting made completely irrelevant.
And we're talking about one specific man. So LSG ended with 171 for 7 and 20 overs, courtesy of a little Samad City. Now that is something I'm about to toot my own horn for.
Oh, we're being smug about Abdul Samad all season.
It was a no-brainer for anybody who knows cricket. I'm gonna go ahead and go after anybody who thought Samad.
I don't know how long we need to keep rubbing this in, but I will enjoy
Every time.
every Abdul Samad innings unto eternity.
Yeah.
Honestly, because he made me right.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing about this guy. Although he also did some other stuff that I thought was cool.
I mean, that scoop action was crazy.
The wide ramp shot on I'm looking at that and I'm like, Deepak Huda, how did you ever get an IPL contract? Like, what the fuck?
It's crazy.
Also, Sherfane Rutherford, fucking get in the nets and learn how to do that. Jesus.
Sherfane Rutherford, by the way, finally scored against RCB in a winning enterprise, but we'll get to that later. He scored
35 off 16, not out against SRH.
Oh, okay, he's in the runs now.
But I still think you should learn how to ramp a wide ball like Abdul Samad because he's taller than Abdul Samad and has longer arms than Abdul Samad and should be able to do that.
But the skills to pay the bills all reside in Abdul.
That's true.
So let's go back to the match analysis here. Here's the thing with LSG. They seem to be a very downtrodden sort of.
They are 2-2
in the PBKS game. They seem to be very much low on confidence. They were totally outplayed by PBKS. And I want to make special mention of, obviously, all three batters that performed like maniacs.
Prabhsimran Singh,
Shreyas.
absolute best innings I've ever seen him play for PBKS, and he didn't even really deserve to get out because he got out on what may be the catch of the season.
Yeah, exactly. It was, but the thing is, he had already made his mark. I mean, I've never seen a single batsman middle the number of shots that he middled.
And he you want to know who was going to third man? Prabhsimran Singh.
He was
going to third man.
I mean, Bishnoi bowled this one ball outside off, low full toss. He scoops it over the keeper's head for 4. I mean, the things that these batters are doing these days are unbelievable. But he played a 360-degree wagon wheel.
Absolutely.
He was super confident. And when
he
you're
woke
confident,
up and said, "Today I am AB de Villiers."
He really did. When you're confident like that as a batter, you put bowlers on the back foot immediately, and that's what you need.
And you can see, I mean, like, Digvesh did not bowl a good ball. It would essentially hit for 6, and Ayush Badoni, like, worked his Ayush Badoni anti-Punjab Kings black magic that he always works.
Yeah.
Which is why I think he's a better player than he actually is.
Badoni?
Yeah.
We'll talk about Badoni. He hasn't really... Actually, let's go ahead and talk about him now. He hasn't impressed me this season, because I watched his innings, and, you know, it took him a really long time to get going. His strike rate was about 100 for the first 15 balls. And then he, of course, got going towards the later half of it. But I never really saw the magic that he created in his first season in some of those innings, you know, with the innovation, with the confidence, with being a single-handed match winner. And I know it's asking a lot of somebody who's that young, but he steadily declined as far as what I've seen.
May I admit something to you, man?
Please.
Can I just come clean?
Please. In fact, he was on 16 off 19 towards the early stages of the innings.
Yeah, I know. I have Ayush Badoni derangement syndrome.
ABDS.
I think this man is like when I went back to do notes for the podcast, I noticed that he was 41 off 33, and I was like, I could have sworn that was 41 off 23. Like, I straight up see different numbers on the scorecard. This man very nearly played a Deepak innings, and he was 4 runs of strike rate away from a Deepak innings.
Yep.
And, like, I thought that he kind of did have his best game of the year, but...
Of the year.
Yeah.
Of this year, which is not saying
because
much.
he made like 41 runs instead of 6.
And quite frankly, I blame Badoni playing well on Chahal being out of form and the death. And Arshdeep's death bowling. I've told you this before. Arshdeep is a fine opener. You as soon as he bowls the death, he just goes for so many runs.
See, he used to be more of a death bowler, and he would just bowl those wide Yorkers at the death, and he was sort of like a rich man's Vijay Kumar Vaishak a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't really be mad at Arsh's death bowling because he took Mitch Marsh's wicket in the power play.
Yeah.
Like, that probably prevented twice as many runs as he gave up in the death. I don't care.
He also got smacked by Aiden Markram. So there's that. I mean, I want to say, you were really that scared of Mitch Marsh? I don't think any team has ever...
He's made runs against everybody else.
2 games?
3 out of 4 games.
2 only.
60 off 31 versus MI.
Okay, so let's count this. 60 off 31 against MI. 0 off 1 against Punjab Kings. And then against Hyderabad, he's
72 off 36 against DC.
And 52 off 31 against Hyderabad. So you're right, 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
So you're right, he scored 3 out of 4. So this is the first game he's gotten out cheaply.
Yep, and he got out for 0 instead of 72.
Or 53, or any of those.
Or, at 200 strike rate. That is more valuable than whatever runs that Arsh may have leaked at the death.
Honestly, a 10 economy rate with 3 wickets taken is really not the end of the world. I don't know why
it's not the end of the world.
And I think he bowled really well. He was like, his length was perfect. It was his line that went a little awry sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the accountability. That's all I'll say. I really like the accountability, and if he wants to constantly be improving on that, he's just going to bowl better than that, and that's great.
Well, I agree.
Let's just want to finish off the Punjab innings really fast, because we had, of course, another wonderful innings from my captain, Shreyas Iyer.
So confident. Seems like every time he gets out to bat, we've talked about this before, he has something to prove. but to nobody in particular. More like to himself.
To himself,
Which
yeah.
makes it even more entertaining and badass to watch.
Definitely. Honestly, I think he has been 100% inch perfect on every single delivery this season but one, but we will get to that. And a debutant, for Punjab, not an IPL debutant.
Yes.
But a Punjab Kings debutant, and a local boy,
Hello.
Mr. Nehal Vadera.
Yeah.
43 off 25, not out. I love this man.
Me too.
Holy crap, have needed him in our middle order for so long.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It is.
Left-hander in the middle order, and he really is a left-hander. I'm not just hallucinating.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Has been amazing. And spoiler alert, was also amazing in our next match.
Damn it! No spoilers, bro. God.
It's not Twilight, come on.
You're right. Anyway, Nehal Vadera, big fan, and he actually was kind of the only shining light in this next game. Anything you want to say about the PB? I just want to wrap it up by saying it was pretty much a through and through PBKS affair. I mean,
Definitely.
Like with bat, with ball in the field, it was fantastic stuff.
Priyan Charia 8 off 9, I'll forgive it. I don't mind.
If you win, it's all right.
Yeah, I don't mind, and also I like his intent at the top of the order. I'm willing to wait for him to make some runs because he has never played in the IPL before this year, and also he made 40 runs on his debut.
Yeah.
So I can't, again, cannot be mad at him.
One thing I want to talk about, well, let's get to the RR PBKS game now. Lockie Ferguson has been quite a good sort of asset for you guys to use. 2 wickets for 37 runs and 4 overs, taking the crucial wicket of Samson when they were 89 for naught.
And Sanju Samson, talking about this match, first of all, the ultimate I destroy PBKS more than anybody else is Sanju Samson.
Yeah, he's been trashed the whole season, and then suddenly he comes up and he says, hello.
Because he just sees that red uniform and he's like, I am ready to smash some shit. And
He's
actually,
Nitish Kumar ready to smash some shit. He's even more ready than Nitish Kumar.
yeah.
I mean, I just love the way Lockie bowls.
Yeah.
Because he's got these beautiful cutters that they totally bamboozled the batters. And Jaiswal was seeing the ball like a football, and he still got flummoxed by a cutter. And you love to see when that happens, when the poles come crashing down.
Yeah.
He got cleaned up by Lockie.
I will say, I thought Lockie bowled great in this match, but I don't think he was the only one.
You talking Marco Jansen?
I'm also talking Arshdeep Singh.
Oh, for God's sake.
There was an important quote from Ian Bishop about this match that I think summarized the most important part of RR's batting innings, which was that they were mishitting with precision. Now, for our football fans out here, as a bowler, a mishit is kind of the most you can ask for in most situations. It's ultimately what you're trying to do because the batsman still has to make a mistake for you to get him out clean bowled or stumped or any of the other fun ways, and mishits are much easier to catch than when they middle it straight at you. Although, more on middling balls straight at fielders later. We definitely improved our ground fielding during their first batting innings. I was happy to see that. We had some pretty poor ground fielding against LSG, so that was much better.
I mean, you barely took any wickets, though, to be fair. So
yeah, but if you're not taking wickets, you gotta A, look for positives somewhere, and we could have leaked even more runs. That said,
I want to say this because you bring up fielding. Chahal acted like it was the most impossible catch he's ever tried to take.
Yeah.
It was fairly simple, and it was a deep find, and he could have caught it, and Het went on to make 16 more runs and 10 more balls, which is not detrimental because you guys conceded 205, and probably Jarail would have had more time to make more runs then.
Yeah.
But
ours should have had Jaiswal twice in the first over, but mishitting with precision strikes again.
I mean, same with Parag. Parag started out his innings pretty shaky, and then he was middling everything. That's the thing with Parag. You get him early.
This is my damn problem is we never get him early, and then I'm like, this same schmuck who's doing all this whack shit for the first 5 balls is now beating my fucking team. I don't like losing to Rian Parag.
I love Rian Parag. I've always loved Rian Parag, even when he sucked. And I'm really happy he's doing well, especially as captain. So that's what I have to say about that.
I don't like Rian Parag, and I'll tell you why, is because I'm a hater. And the reason why I'm a hater is that I'm a human being. and I'm not perfect, and even I have dumb opinions. And yeah, I don't like losing to Rian Parag, and I don't have time to always have a smart opinion on everything. And also, I feel like he kind of has a punchable face. And I know these are dumb arguments, and they don't mean anything, but it's just kind of how I feel. It's the energy there, and I'm like, we should have gotten this dude out.
I respect it. I respect the energy that you have. I want to mention Nitish Rana because I'm very happy to see the way he's been playing. Now, at Kolkata Knight Riders, he had to play a sort of an anchor role, which he doesn't really have to do anymore.
Yeah.
And it seems to have liberated his batting.
I will say this, if most of them are on their day, or even if half of them are on their day, this is a pretty fearsome batting lineup. These guys can hit.
Oh, yeah, big time. But I want to make special mention of Nitish Rana as well.
Yeah.
Because, if we look at his past IPL seasons and compare them with how he's playing right now, look, in 2024, his average was 21. In 2023, he had to play that anchor role. His average was 31. So he's been doing really well. But I want to make special mention of one thing here, which is the strike rate.
Oh,
The
yeah.
strike rate was 123 in 2024, 141, 143, and so on, and 122 as the years go by.
Yeah.
2025, his strike rate is sky high. Average of 28, strike rate of 186.
186.
And that's why he's the impact player. He's being used as this hitter, and it's very heartening to see because I was scared that Nitish wouldn't even get a contract. But not only does he have a contract, he's kicking butt at RR for the light price of 4.2 crore, which also happens to be Samad's contract. But yeah,
4.2 crores.
Yeah.
Man, we should have bought him.
Nitish?
We should have bought Nitish for 4.2 crores?
Yeah. It's not bad. I mean, also he's discounted price because his previous contract was with KKR for 8 crores.
By the way, you said sky high.
Yep.
Not only is it sky high,
Yep.
it's higher than sky.
I mean, that's a low bar. That's a low bar, though.
I know, but I feel it's worth mentioning because
It is worth mentioning.
you get the Uno. If somebody tries to pull the Uno reverse
The
card on
Skuno
you,
reverse
if
card.
the incels come out and say Uno reverse, it's not higher than sky. It is higher than sky.
Sky's average this year is 49.75.
Sky's doing ads for instant coffee, and what I have to say, Sky, is that if you have a BCCI Central contract, you should be able to afford your own espresso machine. And you should not be drinking instant coffee. That's all I have to say about it. I don't care how much money they pay you. If I can afford an espresso machine, so can you. Ask Akash to buy you one. You can get him for a couple $100. He has that money between his couch cushions. Hell, probably has that money in his bathroom.
I'm sure he does. Again, Dhruv Jurel is always on the ball. He's kicked some butt. 13 off 5 once again. Getting Rajasthan 205 at a new ground in Rajasthan.
That's not in Mohanpur.
Not in Jaipur.
It
wasn't in Rajasthan.
No, it was at your
home ground.
It was at our home ground.
Yeah. So in Punjab.
You want to know something funny?
Yeah.
I was looking at Normie IPL Reddit today, and somebody was like, "Why are they playing in Chandigarh? Chandigarh isn't even in Punjab." And someone just writes, "It's in New Chandigarh, which is actually technically in Mohali, which is in Punjab."
Exactly.
Which I thought was really funny.
That is funny. Yeah, but
So fun to watch the normies talk about cricket.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, it's New Chandigarh. Yeah, in fact, is in Punjab, and that's where they played. And it was fascinating that they got their asses handed to them. Now, huge return to form, so to speak, or whatever, for a certain Jafra Archer.
Yes.
Now, this is why we were talking on the phone about this off air, and I agree with you that it wasn't an L take for me to say that Jafra needs to be subbed out. Why?
Well, he gave up the most runs anybody's ever given up in an IPL game. I mean, you can be forgiven for thinking the guy just needs a little break ski, you know?
Not even that. Let's talk about his wickets. Priyansh Arya, stellar delivery. Clean bowl.
I feel so bad for my man because, and I hate to say it was a little bit of a smart delivery because I noticed, I was watching back on the highlights of the LSG match, he also played a defense on his first shot, and he basically played the exact same shot on the first ball in both matches.
That he's
played. Yeah, that he played. And I think that Archer just he was like, yeah, you're going to give me your off stump. I can take that.
Yeah. And it was also a quick delivery, obviously.
Oh,
and it was
yeah,
just,
it was blazing.
Every batter needs at least 1 or 2 deliveries to warm up. You know? Some of these batters go crazy and they swing at the first ball. But when you get a delivery like that, it's a screamer and it's going to go through your defense if you're not awake.
And to bring in something that you talked about last week, the impact player effect, Priyansh was brought in as the impact player. And he I think he was brought in pretty late in the innings. They still brought him in before
the batting innings.
Yeah, before the batting innings, which we'll get to some certain instances when some certain teams didn't do that and made their super informed batsmen suddenly suck.
Yeah.
But
i.e. Travis Head. What the hell?
But Priyansh, I don't know. I can't really blame him for this one.
Me neither. That's just one of those golden deliveries you get once in a blue moon, and you gotta bow your head and say, "Great delivery, Joff."
Exactly.
I want to do the opposite of what I just did, which was forgive Priyansh with Shreyas. And you were gonna get to this, and you can go ahead and start because it's your team.
I want to first commend Shreyas because his first 2 shots against Jofra Archer were perfect. He scored 8 runs in the over. Right, I think this was the first over because Priyansh went out on the first ball, so he had to come in and go, and he did. This was perfect. This is exactly what we needed from the captain. He scored 8 runs from the first over. That's basically the run rate. It's the first over. You can be happy with 8 runs. Last ball of the over, I don't care if my man blocks it. I don't care if my man says, on this ball, every other ball today, I am Shreyas Iyer, destroyer of evil and force of good and light across the world. But in this, on this one specific ball, I am Rahul Dravid, blocker of everything. Or even Chiteshwar Pujara, blocker of even more everything.
It was 100% a predetermined shot. He'd already got his back leg or his front leg out of the way, and he'd already backed away from the stumps. And he slashed at something that would have been great on off, but it was on leg. It was on leg stump, and he got clean bowled. I know his eyes were closed. His eyes were closed. He slashed at it, and that's why he gave his wicket away. He had this problem when he was playing for KKR too. He has that weird back away slog shot that he loves to whip out, and against somebody who's bowling 140 plus,
yeah,
it's
not good.
It's more likely to be a miss than a hit.
And when you've already scored 8 runs off the over, just turn over the strike, or I guess keep the strike because it's the last ball, or just block it, survive, keep going. I will say he was kind of overdue for a dismissal, and I will also say it is important that Shreyas be at least somewhat acquainted with you've heard of the Joe Rogan experience. Well, this is the Punjab Kings experience. Capital P, capital K, capital E. And all of this stuff, the mishits, some other stuff that we'll get to, or that I should really get to now, which is so many of our guys hitting balls directly to their fielders, middling balls directly to their fielders, contrasting with many balls, especially from Sanju Samson, that were hit directly between 2 deep fielders, which is like, what are you gonna do? That is fantastic batting.
Yeah.
Nobody, not even the most like bitter, angry colonizer test cricket Englishman can possibly argue with that type of shot. If you can get it between 2 deep fielders and you criticize that, you literally don't know cricket, I would say.
Yep, I agree.
I like some of the batting from Sanju Samson, from Dhruv Jurel, like these guys were nasty. They were nasty.
2 things I want to talk about with regard to the PBKS batting, which is what gives it the PBKS experience. Prabhsimran Singh, somebody who was that well in touch and well in form. Kumar Kartikeya bowls a kind of like almost a short delivery, but he bends down to sweep it. And it's, mind you, the first ball after the power play is done. 6.1 overs. He slog sweeps it. He had got no timing, no power behind it whatsoever. Straight into the hands of the fielder at deep cow corner.
I think he was getting antsy.
I guess so, and why wouldn't he at 17 off 16 balls?
And the other thing about Prab is that he had to sit across, he basically had to sit across for 2 overs and watch wickets fall.
Which always results in, lapse in concentration.
Exactly, and it's just not ideal. In some ways, I actually think maybe put Prob up to take the first deliveries and let Priyansh watch from the other side and get a feel, because he's the younger batsman.
I very much agree with that.
And I think we saw Prob against LSG. He has he has this insane ability to show intent from ball one. I also don't think that this was a very good batting track, and I don't think that our batters, and it sucks. Like I said at the end of last episode, like, we kind of low-key suck on our home ground. And we totally sucked last year, and as we will get to, I believe we will beat CSK.
I agree.
A lot of that is my gut. But it's been a difficult ground for us, and we have to get used to it.
The second thing I wanted to bring up, if I may, what I'm calling the PZE.
Oh my God.
The Preeti Zinta effect. You can clip this. You guys have never won a game. Other teams have lost games to you. This season, and why is that? Because of the PZE. Now, this season, the PZE was cured for about 3 games. You played 3 games or 4 games?
3.
For about 2 games, the PZE, clear. Nothing going on. Suddenly, a certain Preeti Zintastic comes to the ground, and PBKS is back to their prime 2021-2-3 form. What do you have to say about that, Nikhil?
Maybe it explains the mishitting with precision.
And the hitting with imprecision.
Well, the hitting with the middling balls directly to fielders as well. Hitting with precision directly. I don't know. Maybe it's a juju thing. I'm reluctant to say too many mean things about Preeti Zinta because she lives in Los Angeles and could come for us and give us wedgies. I don't know. Wedgies. She might do it.
Only she's good enough.
I don't know. She might be able to. She might be quick.
If she's Gene good enough.
Football fans, that's her husband's name. That's her husband's surname is good enough. Indians, I don't know any other Americans that have that surname. That's not a common surname. And you know how much we believe in nominative determinism on this
Explain
podcast.
what that is for those who don't know what it is.
Nominative determinism is your name determines your life in some way, right? Our classic example is hard dick Pandya, hard dick Pandya, right? Like, pretty straightforward right there. So when your husband's last name is literally like good enough, like if I'd never heard of this guy for like most of my life, and like in that time, if I wrote like a character whose surname was good enough, I feel like that would be like too heavy-handed in terms of like nominative determinism for said character. I don't know how you end up with this surname, and I don't know how as like, dude, like she could have like probably most men on planet Earth that aren't racist, right? Realistically, probably even a lot of the ones that are. She could have like most men in the world. I'll be honest, I don't know if Preeti Zinta's my type, but
you know who is your type?
Who?
Your wife.
You're right. But, like, realistically, most men, like certainly most single men, and a decent amount of taken men. Because we're good dudes, but, like, there are a lot of dudes. Realistically, like, there's probably a decent percentage of married dudes, and certainly in a relationship dudes, that would leave their relationship.
For the PZE?
For the PZE.
Do they want their IPL teams to lose? I don't think so, Nick.
I mean, dude, I feel like most like Democratic Party donors or like I don't know. I feel like if Joe Biden got divorced, he'd totally go for that.
That'll never happen. He's a family man. Anyway, back to PZE, which
we will submit to you a comprehensive list of Democratic Party figures who might be interested in dating Preeti Zinta next week.
That's crazy. All I'm saying is Cory Booker.
I kind of ship that. That's not bad.
It's a pretty solid. Yeah.
I mean, he's better than good enough.
Corey's better than book enough. Book enough.
Book enough.
There we go. He's book enough.
Oh no.
Good enough. He's better than good enough. All right. Well, anything you want to say about this game?
Oh yeah,
besides
couple more things
Please.
about the Punjab innings. The only two guys who batted decently well were the aforementioned Nehal Vadera.
Woo!
Awesome, 62 off 41.
I think it takes a lot of courage to come out swinging like that when you're kind of in the hole from like you're 45 for 4 and you come in and you're swinging and you're confident and you're kicking butt. I like when you take it to the bowlers. Take the attack to the bowlers, put them on the back foot, even when they know they're in a position to be winning this game.
I will say, though, my guy did have a little bit of an advantage. He is playing domestic cricket for Punjab on this ground all the time. He's been playing here in the SMAT. He's been playing here in the Vijay Hazare. He might even be playing there in the Ranji Trophy. I don't even know. I haven't checked. But he has been playing on this ground, which means he probably knows it the best out of any of our batsmen, because let's be real, Arsh isn't that great of a batsman, as much as I wish he was.
His wicket was hilarious. It was a great shot that he chipped right to short cover.
I mean...
But I do agree that it's definitely advantageous that he plays so much domestic cricket on this pitch. But I pushed back because he scored 50 in Uttar Pradesh or 43 in Uttar Pradesh.
That's true, but number one, I think that's an easier batting pitch, and number two, he's just a good batsman, man.
Exactly. That's my
Because this is a difficult batting pitch, he has a big advantage because he can navigate the way it's going to play better.
On the contrary, he doesn't have as much exposure to international bowlers and bowlers of this caliber.
That's true.
The Smat and the Vijay Hazare.
That's true.
So I do think you're absolutely right. There is a huge advantage there, but also to capitalize on it takes skill.
And the other guy who fired, which is kind of fired a little bit.
Moving on to the next game.
Amazingly, for the first time
And last.
and last for 74 more matches.
For literally 6 more seasons.
Yeah, like 6 more seasons, was Glenn with 30 off 21. So I'll have to enjoy that for the rest of eternity. And honestly, I'm half saying that to motivate Glenn because it seems like the more I trash him, the better he plays. And
Trash well.
I will say 2 more catches in this game. And Nitish Rana, which was important wicket, right? Only 12 off 7. And Hetmeyer as well. So catches win matches, man.
Catches win matches.
We do love Glenn's fielding. Shashank 10 off 13, kind of a bummer. That's the thing about Shashank is that like if things are like really cooked, he does seem to get a little bit frazzled.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened here. And we had the batting debut of the Shedge Fund. Unfortunately, it was 2 off 4. Also, is his name Shedge or Shedge? Because I have heard it pronounced both ways.
It's not Shedge.
Damn.
We don't have... it wouldn't be DGE. It's Shedge.
It's Shedge?
Because Hedge is a very popular last name as well, and that's Hedge.
Okay.
So you add the S, most probably it's going to be Shedge.
But do you think the nickname Shedge Fund is still good?
Oh, it
or
holds
should
up.
we do Shedge Fund? Is that even better?
That... I like Shedge Fund better.
Shedge Fund? Okay. We'll keep it with the Shedge Fund. 2 off 4, I don't care. Keep him in the lineup. I love the Shedge Fund. No, we're keeping him in. He's a beautiful man. He is an awesome young cricketer. We're keeping in the Shedge Fund. This game was fucked anyway. It was the Punjab Kings experience.
The PZE.
PKE.
Anything else you'd like to say about
Do
this
you
game?
have PZDS? Preeti Zinta derangement syndrome.
I just say it like it is, man. How many games this season have you won with Preeti attending? 0.
We're gonna win the next one.
Against CSK?
Yes.
If Preeti Zinta's at the game, I'm saying it right now on the podcast, if she's at the game, you will lose.
Okay.
100,000%.
Okay.
And it may not even have anything to do with her. It may be the fact that players don't like playing in front of their owners. It's possible. You know? Granted, it depends on the owner. Because when Shah Rukh Khan shows up, KKR plays like they've never played
I
before.
want to be anywhere with Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah, I want to invest in a Shedge fund
Me too.
headed by Shah Rukh Khan.
Honestly, you know why the Shedge Fund didn't make runs? Dude, you saw what the stock market did last week. There's no way he's gonna have returns.
Of course.
You know, it was basically stagnant today. So I think we'll get good innings from the Shedge Fund tomorrow, unless Shreyas just keeps batting amazingly, and the hedge fund doesn't get to bat, which also, like, he's had kind of a raw deal in terms of even getting to bat.
Right.
So I think he deserves a couple more. He's good enough in the team. He's a perfectly good fielder. He had a really good play on ground fielding. He had to field a really nasty hop, but he prevented it from going for 4. So good job, Suryansh. Yeah, keep him in the squad, punter. Don't take him out. Honestly, I really do like this squad as it is. You could take out Glenn, but, you know, you're not going to take out Glenn because you're Ricky Ponting. Let's be realistic.
Let's be realistic, yeah.
One more person I'd like to spotlight before we finish up with this match.
Oh, the podcast guy.
This podcast guy. Podcast guy who we both really like, Mr. Sandeep Sharma, who bowled, I believe that Sandeep Sharma bowled even better than Jofra Archer. And in some ways, what you talk about in terms of intelligent bowling, like Sandeep Sharma is kind of the opposite. He doesn't have the biggest physical tools, but he's a very intelligent bowler, and so he goes for 5.25 and over and makes sure we can't goddamn score any runs.
Yeah. It was a great wicket he took of Stoinis as well. He just chipped it right back to him. You love to see that.
It was a good catch, too.
Oh,
Arch didn't take one of those. I think that might have been LSG.
That was
though.
much harder, though. It
Yeah.
was against LSG. It was
Yeah.
Aiden Markham's catch.
Yeah.
I actually would not fault him for that because it's one of those things where if it's your day, it sticks. Not your
Yeah.
day, it doesn't stick.
Sonny G was a little harsh there.
What did he say?
He said it should have been taken.
I don't think he's ever bowled a ball in his life.
That's so true.
I don't think he knows what it means
That's
to
so true.
catch and bowl somebody
That's so true.
at that pace.
That's so true.
Arch bowls quick. He's not a
Yeah.
medium pacer. He's a quick bowler.
Yeah.
And Aiden hit that like
Pretty hard.
So
Aiden's not a small guy either.
fucking massive. So yeah, that ain't being caught by anybody that's not Jonty Rhodes
That's true. And he wasn't really so much a bowler.
at all.
No, yeah.
Are we wrapped up with PBKS?
I think we can wrap with PBKS. Let's talk about KKR.
Actually, I want to talk about RCB versus GT.
Let's talk about the RCBs against the GTs.
Just a few notable things I want to bring to everybody's notice here. The 3 Englishmen on display: Liam Livingston, Phil Salt,
Well, not
Josh
him.
Butler. Right?
Liam Livingston, cool. Phil Salt. It's kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Liam Livingston is too good, and Josh Butler is too disgusting, and Phil Salt is just right.
I agree. Well, I don't think Liam Livingston's too good.
I love Liam Livingston.
He's all right.
Punjab Kings legend, and he's from the north of England.
He literally didn't do shit for you guys.
I don't care. You don't have to do shit to become a Punjab Kings. Honestly, if you play for the Punjab Kings, I will call you a Punjab Kings legend.
Oh, clearly. I want to say this about
Unless you're Glenn.
the Titans. It was a crazy game for them because I'll start with the Phil Salt drop catch. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Butler dropped, and I was so happy to see this because it's Butler. One of the easiest regulation keeper catches in cricket history. He literally, it was so easy that Gill had started appealing even before the ball reached Butler. That's how easy the catch was. Everyone was like, this is going to be taken, surely.
You know who I hate a billion times more than Rian Parag? Joss Butler. His face, a billion times more punchable.
Oh, yeah.
His keeping, a billion times more punchable.
Yep. Is
Losing
batting?
to him sucks a billion times more.
Yep.
Englishness, a billion times more than Rian Parag. Rian Parag, to his credit, is not English at all.
Yep. If you've seen that Joss Butler clip where he tells, can't remember which which South African player he tells, fucking move out the way.
He sounds vaguely South African, which is disturbing.
Yeah. But anyway, back to RCB versus GT. It was beautiful to see Josh Butler drop that catch. Unfortunately, ends up scoring 73 off 39, which is never ideal in the same game. But Phil Salt, I want to also mention, hit one of the biggest sixes.
That's true. He hit it on the roof.
It was out of the ground. It was literally out of the park. It was huge. And it was to pace as well. It wasn't to a spin bowler. It was actually to Siraj, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that yet. It was to Siraj. Freaking massive display. And then I want to say this because I love Siraj. What a comeback to clean him up right after that.
Mohamed Siraj has been bowling really well.
Oh, I love Siraj.
So
man.
well.
I love Siraj.
I think that RCB shirt was holding him back.
Possible, because now he's he's the star of the attack. I don't think he's worried about his position in the team. It's great to see. Prasidh Krishna as well, another one who's just doing great. I want to make special note. Unfortunately, Ishant Sharma, who's pretty much the LOML, right? He gave 27 and 2, but the wicket of Rajat Patidar, he was the impact player brought on.
That's a good
Or
impact
taken off,
player.
taken off,
effect.
I should say. Taken off for Shirfane Rutherford. That's a good impact sub, I would say, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he took the wicket of Rajat Patidar, and then he was subbed off, which you love.
Like, Ishant Sharma belongs in the Shohei Ohtani, I'm just happy to have him around category. And the Shedge Fund is there, too. It's a 3-man club.
Mm-hmm.
I would forgive any of those men for going to the White House. But we'll have to talk about that next week.
Oh, yeah. With Shohei Ohtani.
Yes.
But yeah, the other performances of note. Liam Livingston, a little bit, in fact, very slow. 32 off 33 was where he couldn't pretty much started. Then he got going and he ended up at 54 off 40. He hit some really killer shots against the spinners. He killed the spin. He hit some great sweeps. I love watching him bat against spinners. He really enjoys it. And then he got out to a very regulation delivery that Siraj bowled outside off, cut it, edged it, gave it to Butler. Butler didn't even think it was out. That's how ass his keeping was today. He was like, oh, is that out? And then Siraj was appealing, and he was like, guess it is out.
And you know what makes me even more mad about Butler? This has been a tournament with such good keeping, man. I've seen so much keeping that I've really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And, like, Joss Butler's out here stinking up my fucking television.
Yes.
Like, it's because I'm from Boston, man. I just want to kick the British out of everywhere.
Yeah.
But not Liam Livingston.
Liam Livingston was dropped by Rahul Tewatia in what was probably as simple a catch as Butler's was. Did you see this catch?
I don't know, but all I have to say about it is Rahul Tewatia can only field against the Punjab Kings, but against the Punjab Kings, he is the best fielder ever in cricket. He is.
I mean, he later took a great catch at Jitesh Sharma on the boundary. Not on the boundary, but he kind of had to run in and take it.
He's a very good boundary fielder.
Tewatia?
Yeah.
If you had seen the catch that he dropped of Livingston, you would have been shocked.
He's normally, against he fucking cost Shreyas a century. He personally cost Shreyas a century with his boundary fielding.
Yeah. I also want to say Livingston.
Again, it is Punjab Kings. And it was a fucking amazing play, too. He almost touched the rope, but he did not touch the rope. It was the craziest thing ever.
I also want to say that Sai Kishore dropped a sitter, not a sitter, but on the boundary. It was pretty quick. Of Livingston on 36 off 38, and he ended up going to 54 off 40. Why? Because one more thing we should bring up, Rashid Khan has had a very poor season, and it's been pretty shocking to watch this unfold. I mean, take a look at his bowling. His economy rate this year is 10.2. 10.2. And how many wickets has he gotten this season, Nick, in 4 games?
Not a lot.
It's 1 wicket. He's gotten
crazy.
1 wicket. It's an insane season that he's having. It's shocking. But again,
somebody
Gujarat,
help my boy.
Somebody help my boy.
Somebody help my boy.
I hate to see it.
A beloved podcast guy is in need. Maybe beloved podcast guy Sandeep Sharma can help out beloved podcast guy Rashid Khan. Stay tuned for further updates.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, you speak something into the universe, it could happen. Sandeep Sharma could just be like, Rashid, bowl like you used to. And Rashid will be like, okay, Sandeep.
I also want
And
to
he'll
make
take 6 wickets.
I also want to make final mention of Tim David, because Tim David is such a crucial part of the RCB pinch hitting lineup towards the end. And he's not just somebody who hits willy-nilly. He's not even like Andre Russell, who'll hit one game, won't hit another. Tim David is one of the most consistent batters I've seen, no matter where he goes.
Nasty. He's a nasty finisher.
Phenomenal.
He will bash the ball out of the ground.
Scored 33 off,
32 off 18.
beg your pardon, 32 off 18.
170, 70, 70, 77, 77 strike rate.
Which is
It's
which is
1-1.
chef's kiss.
And
is
a
what
lot
it
of
is.
7s.
Oh, yeah.
Very lucky.
Not a lot else of note happened during this game, so not a lot much to talk about. It was pretty much a one-sided thing. Gujarat chased down 170 with 2.1 overs to spare. Some bowlers of note: Bhuvneshwar Kumar, 1 for 23 and 4 overs. It's literally it. Rasik Salam, one of my big calls.
Yeah.
35 runs in 3 overs, brought in as impact player.
Then again, Josh Hazelwood and Krunal Pandya went for almost as many runs. But I also don't think that Rasik Salam has been bowling well.
He's not been bowling well. He
And-
doesn't have the pace. I don't know why he's in the squad, because we talked about how he was a replacement for Bhuvneshwar. Bhuvneshwar is now back.
Yeah.
In fact, he was brought in as impact player. So I think RCB needs to
impact-
rework its impact player strategy, because Padikal is their impact player going out. So Rasik Salam is the impact player going in. Neither of whom are making any impact whatsoever.
Well, who did they bring in? Did they bring in an impact player today even?
Today?
For bowling, yeah. Who did they bring in as their impact?
For the RCB,
Would have been
let's-
Suya Sharma.
let's
That's
get-
who it should be, is Suya Sharma or Swapnil Singh.
Let's get to that game. Let's get to the RCB versus Mumbai
Well,
game. The reason I think they didn't bring Suyesh Sharma for the RCB GT game is because it was happening in Chinnaswamy. Chinnaswamy doesn't reward spin.
No.
Rashid Khan went for 54 off 4. Suyesh definitely would have gone for around the same. But when we talk about Mumbai, Wankhede, you would think that there's some reward in there for spinners, and you know, you wouldn't be too wrong, because Suyesh went for 32 and 4. Krunal,
It's not bad.
Krunal took 4 wickets for 45.
He knows that ground well, though.
He does.
You want to talk about a man playing on a ground for a lot of matches.
That is fair, but I will also say he got some crucial wickets, and knowing the pitch as a bowler doesn't do as much as knowing it as a batsman does.
That's true.
Because if you look at what Krunal Pandya scored, he scored nothing because he didn't bat.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say about that?
I have to say, I can't believe that RCB would do that, and they've broken my heart forever. And friendship ended with RCB.
Thank God.
PBKS is now my best friend, even though they always have been.
It's so funny because you would think that the 221. So RCB scored 221 in the first innings and 20 overs in this game today against Mumbai. You would think that would happen at the Chinnaswamy, but it happened in the Wankhede. And in response, Mumbai scores 209 for 9, still losing, which breaks my heart because I love Hardik and I hate that he's not able to score. Not able
to score
points on the table is what I mean. Special shout out to Trent Bolt. What a flippin' delivery he bowled to Phil Salt.
Yep.
Gets hit for a boundary, comes right back, knocks him out.
Boom.
Cold ski. Anything you have to say about the Mumbai RCB game until I continue?
Well, just to spotlight our boy, 42 off 15 at a strike rate of 280. That got him laid tonight for sure. And also Tilak Varma. I wanna talk about Tilak Varma because Tilak Varma retired out ? Very interesting. Very interesting decision. And on 25 off 24, I suspect
You're talking about a different game.
Yes, that was the game before, and he came back in this game with 56 off 29 at a strike rate of 193, which is not Pandian, but it is pretty freaking good if you talk about other people who also play cricket who aren't gods.
Anybody who plays sports, I think the mental strength it takes to come back from that.
Yeah.
It's not lost on you and I because we played sports and we follow sports closely, and I hope those of you who are listening who may not have ever played sports will really understand the magnitude of coming back from a 24 off 25 innings.
Oh yeah.
Retired out innings. And coming back and kicking butt like that. It takes a lot of strength and a lot of self-belief and probably a lot of encouragement from management, which I think that's one thing Mumbai gets right.
And here's the thing. There was a lot of talk about him retiring out. I just want to say, my man was building an epic Deepak innings. He was at 25 off 24, and as they say, when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. And I commend Tilak Varma for not getting into the Game of Thrones that are Deepak innings, because we had a Deepak innings this week for the books. For the books. And the king has been removed from his throne in the race for Deepak innings of the year, I would say.
Who is it now?
Who is it now? Why, I'm glad you asked. Why? I am glad you asked. For the Sunrisers Hyderabad against the Gujarat Titans,
Are you ready for this?
I take no joy in reporting that Nitish Kumar Reddy made 31 off 34 at a strike rate of 91.17. Excuse me.
So
I
maybe
feel bad. I love Nitish Kumar Reddy, and I don't like seeing him struggle like this.
It's-
When I established the Deepak Huda Test Innings of the Season award, I anticipated that it would be won by somebody like Deepak Huda, who would be frustrating and objectionable, and that we would need to take out anger on. But
you mean?
I would, because I am an angry, bitter Punjab Kings fan.
I love
right?
Deepak Huda, by the way, in case... Let me say it again, because I don't want to yawn. I love Deepak Huda, by the way, in case those of you who love Deepak Huda are like, what is this podcast?
You
I
are-
hate Nick. I hate Nick. Nick
Yeah,
sucks.
I
Nick
get
is the
it.
worst.
I get it. You have not seen what I have seen.
Oh, and I won't.
Fair.
'Cause we ain't buying him at KKR, I'll tell you that.
I-
But I still love him. I want to ask you two questions here.
Okay.
First of all, Hardik Pandya going into his fourth over. So Hardik Pandya's figures against RCB today, 2 for 45 and 4 overs, which seems like really bad. But again, he got the key wicket of Livingston, got the key wicket of Kohli
Yes.
for 67 off 42. Now, going into his in his fourth over, he had given 23 runs. So he gave 22 runs to Rajat Patidar in his last over. How much does that hurt? I'm sorry, he was at 22 runs in 3 overs for 2 wickets.
Yeah.
My question is, how much does that hurt as a bowler and as a Hardik Pandya fan for the two of us, that his figures got messed up so much by Rajat Patidar? Because we're both Rajat Patidar fans as well.
It's a tough one, you know?
I mean, he's flicking and pulling Hardik all over the leg side, hitting him down the ground. It doesn't get any more embarrassing than that. It really doesn't. And I want to say the Jitesh boundary, the last Jitesh boundary that Hardik was hit for, was so unlucky. It was right on the pads. He tries to flick it, goes right over the head of third man. You can't do anything about that.
Yep.
But the other 18 runs, it's harsh.
It's
Harshdeep Singh.
yeah, exactly. It's just tough to see, but it's kind of like the Sandeep Sharma thing, you know? It's tough to see, but it couldn't happen to a better guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, for what it's worth, like Hardik did make 42 off 15, which is pretty fucking sexy. And he could have not bowled a ball, and he still would have done that. And honestly, we would have been like, that kicked ass. So, I also want to spotlight the return of a very important player to the Mumbai Indians squad for their bowling attack.
And what a difference it did not make.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It kind of did make a difference because he went at 7.25 and over. But Jasprit Bumrah is back. He didn't take any wickets, but he went at 7.25 and over as a pace bowler, which I still don't understand how the hell he gets up to 140 Ks.
I want to say this. Take a look at his economy rate of 7.2. He gave 29 runs in 4 overs. That leaves, in 16 overs, the rest of the Mumbai Indians to concede 192. In 16 overs. That goes to show you. And Trent Boult went for 57 in 4 overs. Through not much fault of his own. It was just great batting from Jitesh and Rajat Patidar. But still.
That's like one other bowler. They have 7 guys in this bowling attack for this game.
This brings me to my second point, if I may. Why is Will Jacks being given the ball?
Why is he in the squad?
Agreed. Great voice, by the way. I don't understand it. Will Jacks, 22 off 18. Is that why you keep him in the squad? Makes no sense to me.
For the nearly Deepak innings?
Exactly.
One ball from a Deepak innings?
Yeah. I don't get it. Will Jacks will forever be a mystery to me. That's all I have to say about that. But
Yeah.
overall, very entertaining.
Why
game.
do you let Englishmen into your squad?
At all. you know?
Yeah, Akash, like, what are you doing, dude?
One last thing I want to say about this game. One of the best keeper catches I've ever seen, Ryan Rickleton.
He's been really good for MI.
He has been, with the departure of Quinton Dick.
But I hardly know him.
Nice. Bolt bowled a delivery on middle. Rajat Patidar scoops it in a weird way where the leading edge goes sky high over the keeper. Ryan Rickleton turns around, runs towards the boundary, quickly, dives forward, lunges forward, takes a brilliant catch.
That's the amazing thing about keeping man. Like, you have to be like a catcher, but you also have to be an outfielder.
Exactly.
And you got to run all the way over there with the gloves and like dive out there, and you got pads on. This man's nuts. But good for you, Ryan Rickleton. Also, noted left-hander Rohit Sharma made 17 off 9, which is better than he's been doing.
And dismissed by Yasdayal, which I'm very happy for Yasdayal. To get the Indian skipper. Clean bowl, by the way. Great delivery on middle. Rohit tries to flick it. Knocks him over. Great stuff from Yasdayal.
A couple of years ago, he might have made that shot.
Yeah, his reflexes are pretty slow now.
Yeah.
But Yasdayal ended up going for 2 for 46 and 4 overs, which, economy rate kind of subpar.
But he took a couple of wickets, and
Exactly.
in a high-scoring game like this, that's important.
Yep. And look, they won.
They won.
So,
Who
in
cares?
a winning cause, your 2 wickets look even better.
Well, he went for 11.5. How does that compare to the MI bowlers? He did better than Trent Bolt. He did better than a Deepak I like much better, Mr. Chahar. He did better than both of those guys in economy. So, could be worse. They went at 14. Josh Hazelwood continuing to bowl well. And Krunal. Johnny Drama, causing some drama.
That's all I have to say about the RCB Mumbai game.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some KKR.
KKR.
So we are back, baby. We are back.
I told you.
I never doubted us.
Yes, you did. You
Don't-
picked SRH.
Don't roll the tape. Don't roll the tape because you don't have to.
I have the picks at the top.
I'll tell
And
you-
you know what? You want to know what? I hate to say it, man. I was one game
Then
ahead of
don't
you
say
this
it.
week,
Then don't say it.
and you deserved it for not believing in your team. I'm sorry.
My team sucks butt. Okay? It's just that they sometimes face a team that sucks even worse on a particular day. Now, I want to make special mention of 2 batters, and I want to eat some dirt here as well. So 2 batters that I love, Ankush Raghuvanshi and Ajinkya Rahane. Ajinkya Rahane, 38 of 27, a strike rate of 140, something you'd never think you'd see from Ajinkya Rahane in, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
But he is phenomenal.
He's completely
captaining,
reinvented himself.
and he's such a smooth captain. He's a very good captain, and I love watching him captain
And
this
it
side.
makes sense that he's been able to reinvent himself in this way because he's always been a really analytics-minded cricketer, and he's always been on the leading edge of figuring out how to score the most effectively to
Are
win
you saying
matches.
cutting edge?
Cutting edge.
Leading edge.
Leading edge isn't great unless you're the Rajasthan Royals against the Punjab Kings, in which case it's completely fine.
Rahane has this pickup shot that he plays on the leg side, bending down and playing it like a sweep to the Pacers. It's just unbelievable. Raghuvanshi has so many innovative shots. He scores his 50 off 32. It's beautiful.
And we should also note they came in after Quinton de Kock, once again, we hardly knew ye, and Sonny End, early 6, but out. He was run a ball.
Here's my call on Quinton de Kock. I don't think he needs to be subbed out. I think he's doing the shots that he's playing. He's just having an unlucky bout. They're all going straight to the fielders, and they're all taking some good catches. He's middling every time he gets out, though. He's middling it. So
After having made that, I don't know if it's an excuse, after having given that reasoning for Punjab, partial reasoning for Punjab losing to the Royals, I kind of have to agree with that. But
yeah.
I also Ramanula Gurbaz. But won't
Yeah.
somebody think of Ramanula Gurbaz, who was great for KKR last year and got subbed out after kicking ass for a man who I keep having to say, we hardly knew ye. I only got to make the joke for the first time like 10 minutes ago after you just said Quinton de Kock.
Yeah.
I keep having to say we hardly knew ye because he won't make a regular amount of runs.
Yeah. I want to spotlight one thing which is kind of not really related to, and we'll get back to the game, I promise. One thing I want to spotlight, and I want to talk to you about this. We didn't mention this at all on the agenda or anything like that. It's just coming up now because I noticed it when I was watching the game. Eden Gardens,
Yes.
extremely low turnout. It's becoming a problem. There are a lot of theories that are being floated for why this is happening.
Are the tickets expensive?
Very expensive. They're
Let's take a
calling
look.
it's greedy ticket pricing, they're saying, and what other people are calling patchy form for the KKR and lack of star power. Right? I think maybe it's that Rahane is not a big enough star, which to me is insane. I know, I agree. Nick is making a very surprised face right now, which I agree
it's not
with.
great for I admit it's not a great reaction for the audio format,
Yes.
but it's straight out of like a very dramatic scene. I find this shocking.
I mean, the India versus England T20 game, the average, one fan says that it cost 1,300 rupees in January. In the IPL, 3,500 rupees.
that is a big increase.
It's huge. It's 3x.
Let's go on district right now.
Go ahead, take a look. I want to quote the Captain Chinmay Nayak, who's the Chief Executive Officer of the Cricket Association of Bengal. He writes, IPL is a franchisee league. KKR manages the tickets. And Cricket Association of Bengal does not have any role to play in ticket pricing. Again, as I said, the biggest culprits of why fans are not going out to the stadiums are ticket pricing, of course, and KKR's patchy form. And also, two more things that are coming to light. Humidity in Kolkata, fair enough.
Yeah.
And weekday cricket matches. I want to push back on the weekday thing that they've written around town because it's never stopped anybody from watching an IPL game.
Also,
tell you
bosses of Kolkata, let your workers out to go to watch KKR.
Exactly. It's only 14 games in the whole year.
We're calling on the bosses of Kolkata to really support KKR. They already gave you a championship last year. Those extra 2 hours from your assistant, not really going to make the difference.
Especially
but they will make the difference for Sonny N and the boys at KKR.
Exactly. Let your workers out early on the night that they have a game.
Yep.
And let them come into work late the next day.
And honestly, fight the high ticket prices by subsidizing half of their ticket.
They're already lowering the ticket prices for the LSG game.
Okay, that's
great,
good.
Which is great. You like to see when they respond to uproar.
Then again, I would only want to pay cut price to see LSG too. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding, because I would pay top dollar to see Abdul Samad.
Woo! And Rishabh Trousers.
And
Hashtag
Rishabh
free
Trousers.
Rishabh Trousers from
I would-
Sanjiv Goenka.
I would just like to tell Rishabh Trousers in person that he's a good person and he's better than the people who boss him around and criticize him.
Yep. I also want to say this with regard to the ticket pricing and the crowd turnout and everything. I hope there will come a day when RCB plays KKR in Eden Gardens and it doesn't sound like an RCB home game.
Yeah.
I hate
This
that.
is an issue that we dealt with the Chargers for
the
first
Raiders.
several years.
For several
for
teams.
a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was only this year we started having real home crowds. We were talking about that in previous episodes. It really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I was happy about with the PBKS match. We can't play in our stadium, but we did we did have a great crowd there, and we had a record crowd at the new stadium. So that was great. I think that they definitely need to be making sure the tickets are as cheap as possible.
Yep.
I don't want fans being locked out of stadiums for their own local teams. It only causes bad things. It murdered the Oakland A's last year.
Yep.
Right? Although that is going to allow us to have cricket at the Oakland Coliseum, which for me is like an American sports and cricket fan is like I'm going to burst with happiness and joy and light. And it's almost worth the stock market crashing.
Hey. Nothing. Except the tariffs are worth the stock
You
market.
tariffed. By
Yeah.
the way, 4 tickets together in Block D. What row is this? Just zone lower tier in Block D at Eden's is $22 each. So you and me and Chintan and Marco could go for $88 plus fees.
$22 is about 1,000, almost 2,000 rupees.
These are on the lower part of Block D though. They're kind of close to the field.
I think I think the visibility can't be that good for $22. Plus,
That's
they're
true.
going to charge you a crap ton of fees.
That's true.
So double that
Let's
price.
see. Let's see what the fees are. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and.
We're doing this live on the podcast.
We are buying KKR tickets live. Our price is locked. Well, that's good. Let's see what the fees are.
I would say at least multiply it by 1.5.
Yikes!
So $33. That's about 3,200 rupees.
Include
About.
estimated fees. Hold on.
Probably more.
$38 each.
What did I say? It's even more than
Holy
1.5.
shit.
It's almost 2 times, in fact.
$38 each. That's
Now we're getting into 4,000 rupee territory.
yeah. Jeez, dude.
Yeah.
Lower them, SRK.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Like in Ahmedabad, they have the Narendra Modi Stadium that has never been sold out. Ever. Tickets for that should be like 5 rupees.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what I was researching this before the PBKS GT game? Do you want to know which side came the closest to selling out the Narendra Modi Stadium?
Chennai?
Nope.
Who?
I'll give you a hint. They're an English side.
England?
Nope. I'll give you another hint. I never said they were a cricketing side.
Which one?
Coldplay.
Oh. That's fair. Should have seen that one coming.
I don't know if
English
Chris Martin's
side.
any good as an opener, but
Oh, he opened all right.
yeah, they drew like 111,000 people, and there were still 20,000 people short of selling them out. Unfortunately, Narendra Modi did not learn from Stan Kroenke that building a stadium that is too big means that you will always have cheap tickets because
You got too many seats.
you got too many seats. Supply and demand.
Supply and D, S&D. Not much to say about the KKR versus SRH game. Ishan Kishan continues to flop, so we continue to be right about him. Ishan Kishan.
Although he did have one of these games, I can't remember which one, but he did have a ball that he middled straight to somebody that was a
Yes.
nice diving catch. So I can't get mad at him for
Oh, that was in fact, yeah, Ishan
Yeah.
Kishan. Rahane took a blind.
yeah, absolute blind. That's what I was watching earlier. Yeah.
I love Rahane as a fielder, as
Yeah.
a captain, as a batter. I mean, what can't he do, really?
As much as we want to,
He drove it, and he middled it, and it went to Rahane at short cover, and he took a left dive. He dove to his left, and he caught it. Brilliant catch.
as much as we don't want to be charitable to Ishan Kishan, that was
Ishikishi.
Ishan Kishan. Sorry, he doesn't deserve Dutch pronunciation of his name. He's not Sanjiv Goenka. He's just Ishan Kishan.
They'll have to check our podcast about Saudi Arabia for that.
Yeah. No, but I think we're going to keep Sanjiv Goenka going because until he stops acting like a jackass, I'm not going to stop pronouncing his name like it's an old-timey car horn.
Agreed.
You know?
I want to say this about the game. SRH, it's clear to me now that if 1 down, 2 down, and 3 down don't do anything, that's it. For some reason, Klaasen's going in at 4 down, which is weird to me
Yeah.
because they've promoted Camino Mendes, who I don't know too much about him. I don't know him to be better than
the
Klaasen.
only thing I know about him is that he's an ambidextrous bowler, which is interesting
pretty cool.
tactically.
pretty
But
cool, yeah.
like, I feel
But-
like if he's mostly using him for his bowling, you're gonna have him further down. The
You have to
order.
tell the umpire what hand you're bowling with.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can just change hands and randomly use that as like a surprise. So it's not like super tactical or
But
whatever.
he could change hands in different overs.
Which is nice, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can change hands within the same over too.
But you
You
still,
just have to declare it.
yeah, but like,
Yeah, that's cool.
fine.
It's definitely a good strategy.
There was an instance in baseball a few years ago where there was a switch hitter and a switch pitcher at the same time, and they kept switching sides, and the pitcher kept putting his glove on the other end, and so they had to implement a rule that you have to say which side you're on.
Yeah. Fair enough. So for me, the big Achilles heel for the SRH side right now is that Klaasen, Head, Sharma, Ishan Kishan.
Well, to be fair,
if none of these guys do well, they're losing the game no matter how well they bowl.
as we mentioned, they ruined Travis Head by not letting him field.
He was the impact player this time, yes.
And not only was he the impact player, he was brought in after the 20 overs. He was not brought in to field for a couple overs and take a look at the pitch. They didn't even give him what they give Priyansh, right? And that I still think he should be out in the field, right?
But he did score an infinite amount more.
That's
than
true.
Priyansh.
That's true.
Infinite times the amount more.
Except after they did the impact player thing, he didn't score at all. He scored 4 off 2 or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. He scored an infinite amount more than Priyansh did.
Yeah.
Infinite times.
Well, that's
0.
true, but he also didn't get a ball like Jofra Archer, to be fair. That was one of the best deliveries of the whole tournament.
I would say it was a good delivery. Was it the best?
It wasn't the best, but like it might be in the top 10 so far.
Yeah, it could be top like 3
Yeah.
times 10, so top 3. Yeah, I mean, Travis Head played a pretty poor shot to Weber Varota.
Yeah.
And
Vaibhav Aurora, I was saying he needs to be in the squad. Spencer Johnson needs to be gone. Hey, look what
Agreed.
happens.
Oh, no, you're right.
Look what happens.
1,000%
Boom,
right.
boom.
And he was the impact player subbed in.
Are you
subbed
tired
out.
of winning yet? Because I'm not.
Me neither. Raghuvanshi was subbed out as the impact player. Weber Varota subbed in. Weber Varota has talked about this as well, that he's always ready to be the impact player. And I love that about him. He's really like, he takes it on the chin. He's a great guy. He bowled a maiden as well in the innings. Great catch from Harshit Rana, by the way, who also bowled 1 for 15 and 3. Special shout out to Varun Chak, who bowled 3 for 22 and 4.
And good aggressive captaincy from Rahane, bowling him early so that they would take all the wickets and bowl him out in whatever 16 overs.
What's annoying to me is Russell closed out the innings with his... I don't know how he always gets wickets, but he always does it. It's crazy.
He's a wicket magnet.
He's a wick magnet. Nothing more to say about that game.
I think that was the only KKR match, wasn't it?
That was the only KKR match so far. What games do we have left to talk about? We only have the DCCSK game to talk about, am I right?
And
no.
DCSRH.
SRH GT and DCCSK.
Did we talk about DCSRH?
We did not talk about DCSRH.
There's a DCSRH?
No, that never
Wait,
happened.
that's last
that
week.
happened already.
I'm an idiot.
Cut that.
Cut that. Jesus, I'm an idiot. Rohit Sharma is a left-hander. I'm gonna say it until he bats left-handed.
He will.
I'm speaking it into
Not
existence.
because he wants to bat left-handed, but because he'll forget that he's a right-hander.
Yeah.
And then he'll be like, oh shoot, like, and then he'll
Yeah, and this is a life lesson to our listeners. If you make a mistake, don't deny it. Own it so hard it becomes the truth.
Isn't that in the movie The Apprentice?
Maybe.
He says, even if you make a mistake, deny.
That's what Trump would do. I'm saying do the opposite. Own it until Rohit Sharma turns into a left-hander. That's what I'm saying. You should do the opposite of what Trump does.
I think denial is more healthy.
Okay, Dr. Aryan Ori, PsyD, psychoanalyst extraordinaire.
Let's talk about DC versus CSK. Khalil Ahmed.
It's
My boy.
It's only the Ahmed.
It's
only people named Ahmed who are playing consistently for CSK.
Oh, yeah. Khalil Ahmed and Noor Ahmed. Well, Noor Ahmed kind of sucked butt this game. But Khalil Ahmed got
And he got the purple cap taken from him by Hardik Pandya, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. The crucial wick of Jake Fraser McGurk, caught by Ashwin at long on.
He was
You love to see
McGurked.
it. He was McGurked.
He has been McGurked.
Well, he's been Khaliled.
He's been Khaliled and McGurked.
And McGurked.
And Khalil was not McGurked.
KL had a special knock along with Abhishek Porel coming in for cameos. with
Abhishek
Akshay.
Porel found his form.
Yep.
Good work, dude. We like him.
We love him.
We're gonna
Abhishek Porel.
we're gonna have to do a beloved podcast, guys. 11.
I felt bad for his wicket actually because he chipped it. He kind of like tapped it right to third man with Patirana's right there with the Jadeja. I love Jadeja, but I love Porel a little bit more because I think he's a young gun who has a bright future and he takes risks.
Jadeja's also a very good fielder.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
Tough guy
but
to
he
be
didn't take
chipping
the
it
catch. He
too.
bowled.
Oh, true.
He bowled it to Patirana,
Yeah,
and
Patirana.
Patirana took the catch. Patirana's an atrocious fielder, but he took the
Damn.
catch.
Yeah, I didn't read the scorecard right.
Well,
Flip it around.
did you read the game right? Because
Flip
I
it
watched
around.
that shit.
I don't know if I watched it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Disgraceful. Noor Ahmed bowled one good delivery the entire game to Akshay Patel, cleaned him up. But Akshay Patel had done his job by then, 21 of 14. Samir Rizvi was somebody that I was really looking forward to seeing because he has been played time again. Comes in with the 20 off 15, and who better to get his wicket than ya boy, Khalil Ahmed. So very happy to see that. From
Is he our number one podcast, Khalil? Probably not, because he plays for CSK.
I still back him.
But more than Khalil Mack?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Question mark?
He's getting it. He's bowling so well. He is, as the commentators would say, asking the question. There is an appeal. He has said, how's that?
And as an umpire, certified umpire myself,
That's true.
I can relate to somebody appealing.
Are you lifting the finger?
Oh yeah, every day of the week. KL Rahul plays some very inventive shots during his innings as well, like the reverse, and he was really aggressive.
Although it was a little bit of classic Punjab KL 77 off 51. That's a lot of balls.
I mean, 151 strike rate, dude.
That's pretty good.
It was great.
Pretty
it was
good.
a great innings. I'd
That's
say.
true. No, I'm not gonna criticize KL.
Although
Love KL.
183 and 20 is kind of low, so
Yeah,
I
they
guess-
won. Who cares?
I guess you need somebody to bat. They needed one more
cares?
guy.
And it might have been like a 160, 170 wicket too.
The only reason they won so convincingly against CSK is because CSK looks horrible this year.
Yeah, you know why we didn't profile CSK and MI? Because so far they really do look like the most trash teams in the tournament.
Yep. Welcome back, Mukesh Chaudhary, though.
Yes.
And what a welcome it was.
Yes.
Man got absolutely smashed by the likes of Tristan Stubbs and others. He dropped a sitter off his own bowling, though. It was a very easy catch.
Not like the arch catch.
Yeah, it was of KL Rahul, who ended up getting out anyway. It was a pop fly. It wasn't for those of you baseball fans.
Yes.
It wasn't a
A pop fly, but you don't have a glove to catch it with.
Yeah. Special shout out to CSK looking horrible.
Yes.
158 for 5. Rutsin Ravinda 3 off 6. Conway 13 off 14.
The
Gaikwad,
New Zealand
nothing.
opener's not working. Yeah, Gaikwad not making runs. That's a big problem.
You mentioned off, well, yeah, because he's the only one who ever does it, and when
Yeah.
he doesn't, then look what happens. I want to mention, freaking Dhoni and Vijay Shankar, right?
Yep.
Vijay Shankar, you mentioned, he scored 69. What a great player.
He's a
50
beautiful man, and he scored 69 though.
Of course he did, but of how many deliveries, bro?
If he scored 68 off that many deliveries, I might say the same thing. If he scored 70 off that many deliveries, I might say the same thing. But this is a beautiful man scoring 69. You know what? I would even excuse the Deepak innings. He could score 69 off 70.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
And I realize that's a dumb opinion, and I don't care.
a strike rate of 127, which is it's
Not great.
It's atrocious.
It's
Especially
not great.
You're chasing 183. You're not chasing 160.
It's definitely not outstanding.
And I
Well,
want
it's
to talk
better than Dhoni. He didn't take a stumping either. Damn.
the Dhoni brought. Well, he didn't get a chance, man. The DC people were all over them.
That's true.
Now, granted, they're playing in, Chennai, which is
Yeah.
not a batting pitch by any stretch. Am I right about that? They're
Yeah,
playing
that's
in
why I'm saying 160, 170 wicket.
It
They gave
is.
up 183.
It is. And obviously, when you have your power hitter in Dubé coming in as impact player and doing jack, that never helps. Jadeja didn't do jack either, 2 off 3. But the Dhoni problem is something they now need to seriously address.
Yeah.
Granted, it's selling you a butt ton of tickets, but the intent needs to be there from Dhoni,
Yeah.
You can't be chasing 110 off 57.
Well, and this is the pitch you should know how to bat on. You want to talk about a guy batting on a pitch for a long time.
Yeah. You can't be chasing 93 off 38 and being 9 off 11.
Yeah, no. You just got to give it a go. You got to give it a run.
I don't know what he stands to lose by trying to show intent and getting out. I'd rather him show intent as a fan.
I mean, net run rate, but they suck. Who cares?
Net run rate? What do you mean net run rate?
Well, if they only scored like 120, I guess if it's net run, it's just the rate that you score runs at. Or if you get out inside 20 overs, do they do it like?
That also has an impact.
Yeah,
It's overs and wickets.
gotcha. So they do it as
Overs
if
and
it were
runs.
20, as if it were 20.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So yeah, you would lose big on net run rate if you go out too quickly in that situation. But they lost by 25 runs, so they still, kind of got their ass kicked.
I mean, Vijay Shankar stepped into high gear when they needed 41 to win off 6.
Yeah,
That's when he went from 53 off 47.
because he had to get to 69, or it would have been unforgivable.
Yeah, fair enough. That's when he went from like 57 off 48 or 53 off 47 to what he ended up with, which was 69 off 54.
Which is nice.
And Dhoni was on 25 off 24 and finished off 30 off 26
That's he scored 5 runs and 2 balls.
to make his strike rate over 100. So
Good
bad
job.
stuff for CSK. They need to fix the Dhoni problem. They need to get a pinch hitter in there, and they need to sub out Dhoni. That's what I think is plaguing them. And they need Vijay Shankar out, and they need somebody else in.
They need Gaikwad to make runs.
But how many? He can't do it every time. But your openers didn't go.
Yeah.
Your one down batsman didn't go. Your middle order should step up.
You're right.
Right?
You're right. You're right. Yeah. And you still had Ravichandran Ashwin to bat, who is useful, right? You can be more aggressive. You do have somebody there.
Yep. That's it for me for the CSK game. Last game we have to discuss, unless you have anything else you want to say about that.
Nah.
Last game we have to discuss. We can breeze through this because, again, not a whole lot to talk about. The SRH GT game
Yes.
in Hyderabad. The SRH team is kind of floundering.
Yep.
It's crazy to me because I would have never called it that way. And that's why we get humbled.
The biggest surprise of the season. I think that one thing that we may be seeing is that this Sunrisers batting lineup was all in very good form last season and are not anymore.
Yep.
And kind of all went out of form at the same time. We did touch on this game slightly because we had to deliver the unfortunate news of Nitish Kumar Reddy playing the Game of Thrones.
Yes.
But
And you know what? I can understand why he went into a shell. Because when you lose 3 wickets for 50 and 7.2 overs,
yeah,
you kind of want to.
it happened with PBKS as well. You saw it with Shashank and a lot of those guys. So it does happen and it does make sense, but it's also just it's disappointing. And not him, anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, we should probably make special mention of Mohammad Siraj. I mean, he was totally unplayable.
Absolutely unplayable.
They had no idea how to pick him. Least of all, Ishan Kishan. Ishan Kishan hit and even Abhishek and Head.
4.25 and over.
The 3 lefties just couldn't pick him. Head flicked one straight to Sai Sudarshan at short mid wicket. It was beautiful to watch. And, special shout out to Prasidh Krishna as well, who's been very accurate.
And Sai Kishore and his resting tragedy face. He will bring resting tragedy to your face.
You want to hear something hilarious?
What?
Sai Sudarshan scored the lowest he has ever scored in an IPL game against SRH.
Wow.
5.
And after him being kind of carrying GT's batting for the first couple of matches.
Yep. Never scored a duck in his whole IPL career.
Amazing. Good job, Sai.
Thanks, dude.
I will say, I'm very impressed with my Punjab Kings because this looks like it might be the best with Siraj and Prasidh Krishna and Sai Kishore, and if Rashid Khan starts doing anything with the ball, this looks like it might be the best bowling attack in the league, and we beat them at home.
I mean, you're lucky they're not in form yet either, though.
That's true.
Once
Sai Kishore was taking wickets.
Sai Kishore was taking wickets for sure.
And Siraj was bowling well.
Siraj was bowling really well. So fair enough. But
Prasidh Krishna still there.
But Rashid once again.
I guess he wasn't really in form yet.
Rashid once again wicketless. Ishant Sharma going for 53 and 4. I mean, I love Ishant, but that's just unjustifiable.
Yeah.
That's why he's an impact player, and that's why he was subbed off.
I just like having him around.
I love him too. I
just like having it. He's got such great hair.
He's got great demeanor, great hair.
He's always had great hair.
Made fun of Steve Smith, which is always a plus.
That's always great. Hopefully it doesn't get him killed.
Yeah, because that guy's
You really gotta hope late in the career, defend Ishant Sharma.
Here's one: Heinrich Klaassen being clean bowled by Sai Kishore. Now Klaassen hasn't gotten the big innings going yet. The 50s. He's been in the 20s and maybe 30s here and there. What can he do to get himself to that 50-plus mark? I think, first of all, he needs to be going ahead of, which is what they did this time. There was no Mendes is the guy who.
Yeah, Kamindu Mendes.
Yeah,
they put him back down the order.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Which is I was gonna say that they need to do that. He went 3 down, had enough time, threw away. We kind of got lazy with the shot against Sai Kishore, just kind of left his hands off the bat and just let himself get knocked over. So he needs to be less lazy, a little more observant of the deliveries.
Yeah, he also needs to not so much be watching his entire team catch on fire in front of him and bat slowly.
Yes.
And again, they ruined Travis Head 8 off 5. They ruined Travis Head. They just ruined Travis Head.
I think he ruined himself as well. I think this This swinging and everything thing is very hit or miss. I also think the Hyderabad,
But the
batting
impact player
wicket-
effect. He was
Well,
hitting.
I-
He was hitting every ball.
he was,
He
but-
was one of the leading run takers. The last run scorer. Jesus, I'm not having a good day with the English language, boys. He was one of the leading run scorers in the league the last time we did this podcast.
Yes, but I think there's no excuse for this game because he was in the first innings batting.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't make a difference. But you're right. The impact. See, once you don't score once,
That's the thing. He lost confidence from that match, and then
yes.
boom.
And then it suddenly
Boom.
that's how it starts. But I also say this Hyderabad wicket doesn't look very as good, as flat as it
As
used
it
to
did,
be.
yeah.
For the 250 being chased
Yeah.
or whatever you call it.
They heard us talking about that flat ass deck, and they're like, hold my beer. It won't be able to be held on our new bumpy ass deck.
Exactly. Here's another one for you. Washington Sunsky.
Washington Sunsky.
49 off 29
George Washington Sunsky, the first president
of the United
of the
Gujarat
United. Yes.
of the Titans. 49 off 29. Here's another beauty.
Back in the IPL.
Back in the IPL.
Back in the IPL for Washington Sunsky.
Here's an even better one. Of all the people who didn't score, chasing 153, they only lost 3 wickets, one of whom was Jossie B.
You love to see
You
it.
love to see that.
None off 3.
None off 3.
Uh,
Patty, and who better to get the wicket than Pat Cummins? Who better? And who better to take the cast than
It's
Heinrich
true.
Klaassen
and
in the keeper's position?
And Pat Cummins has really made me look like an idiot for the whole he shouldn't be at number 8 thing because he also made 22 off 9 today. Honestly, he's been one of the best batters for Hyderabad this season.
But that's what I was telling you, dude. Like that I disagreed with you from.
no,
from
I
the
know,
get-go
and you
because-
were right, and you knew ball in that situation.
Because he is a great bat. He's just, and 6 down is the position for him, you know. And
I would love to see the team be constructed slightly better, that you could bring him in at like one more all-rounder and you can bring him in at 7 down. And then when your entire team collapses, you're like, waha, I still have Pat Cummins. I don't know.
I mean, that's kind of, Pat Cummins is like, he's a reliable batter.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Washington Sundar. Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Simranjeet Singh has been used by Gujarat Titans. I'm sorry, by Hyderabad. And I feel bad for Simranjeet Singh because as much as I like him, he was the impact player this time. He isn't a good bowler. And
Yeah,
and
he just hasn't
not
been good.
it's not personal. I've seen him play in the IPL for a couple of years. He just doesn't have it.
Yep.
He's a medium pacer. He drags down the ball too much. He is easy pickings. Washington Sundar made a meal out of him. 20 runs in 1 over. And not just of him. Kamindu Mendes came in for 1 over and got smacked for 12 by Washington Sundar as well.
Abhishek Sharma?
Yeah. So they were trying everything, obviously, because they were defending such a low score.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Simranjeet, I feel for the guy because hasn't come off for him.
Yep. I think they brought in J.D. Unadkat for this match. I think he needs to stay, maybe instead of Simranjeet Singh. And
Agreed.
Hey, maybe bring in another all-rounder. Bring in somebody who can bat.
I don't also like Zishan Ansari. I'm not sorry about Ansari.
I still think he might be the best Ansari since Aziz.
Since Aziz. yes.
Since Aziz.
That might be the case because there are no other Ansaris that I know.
But it's kind of early career Flight of the Conchords Aziz Ansari. Zishan hasn't gotten Parks and Rec yet.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's almost NYU Stern Aziz Ansari.
I would say that, yeah.
Yeah.
What else do we have to talk about here? I want to mention Washington Sundar's innings at 49-29 once again because it was so innovative and he got out to a brilliant catch.
And he's back.
And he's back.
Yes, he's back.
He has really reinvented himself.
That doesn't
over the
really
last
work.
couple of years.
Washington has too many syllables. Sunder's back.
Yeah, Sundar's
Tell a friend. Hey, Sunder's back. I told a friend.
He's really reinvented himself in Test cricket and here. He's become a valuable asset both to India and to any IPL team that he plays for.
Yep.
And I also want to commend Gujarat Titans, specifically Shubman Gill, for sending him 2 down. That's
Yep.
early. People have been using him at 5.
Yep. When
So-
he was with RCB, he was way later.
Yeah, so kudos to him for sending him in at 2 down. And Shafane Rutherford for 35 off 16.
Very good.
He's
Though he still needs to learn how to do the wide ramp shot.
exactly.
Because if Abdul Samad can do it, so can you, Shifain.
He's been proving me wrong. I love GT's squad composition because chasing 153, they still had Shah Rukh Khan, Rahul Tewatia, Rashid Khan still to come.
Yep.
So, they had 6 pure batters, like solid batters. 3 more solid batters to come. 6 downs worth of batting, which I love.
And Saikishore bowled well again. Mm-hmm. He brings resting tragedy to your face. 2 wickets, 6 runs per over. He's great. I love him.
And GT takes the victory there, chasing 152
in 16.4 overs.
3.2 overs to spare by 7 wickets.
Cooked him.
Let's talk about the table lasting stand to wrap this thing up here.
And some picks.
DC number 1. 3 wins, 3 games. GT number 2, 4 games, 3 wins. RCB number 3, 4 games, 3 wins. Ya boys at PBKS
Number 4,
3 games, 2 wins. KKR 4 games, 2 wins. LSG number 6, 4 games, 2 wins. Rajasthan 4 games, 2 wins. Number 7, Mumbai Indians number 8, 5 games, 1 win. CSK number 9, 4 wins, 4 games, 1 win. And SRH at number 10, 5 games, 1 win. So SRH, CSK, MI coming out to the big losers here. Rajasthan, LSG,
I think
KKR,
that SRH
and PBKS.
will finish above both of them. I think we're going to get I really think we might get our CSK, MI, Dunsky.
Rajasthan, LSG, KKR, and PBKS are still in contention here with 4 points each in 3 games. 3 games and 4 games, respectively. PBKS has played the least amount of games at 3, along with DC with 3.
Yeah.
But DC's number 1. They haven't lost a game yet. I think you're right about the MICSK call. I think the most lackluster I've ever seen these two teams is probably last year and this year.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's nice for the game. It's nice for the tournament.
We love to see it.
We also love to see DC at the top with Akshay Patel as captain.
That's true.
I love
That's
that.
true. Even though they've played some teams that aren't very good. Mostly.
Well, yes, that is also true.
And also haven't been playing well. They played CSK and SRH, I believe. Mm-hmm. So you have one team that isn't very good and another team that
Isn't very good.
or is at the very least, like, mega nuclear out of form.
And also the LSG game, they had no business winning, to be fair. But hey, they won. So
Yeah.
if they didn't have business winning it and they won,
They had a Punjab King at the right time.
oh yeah.
Smash you tosh. And Railways. And Railways.
He's played for Railways.
He just moved to Railways.
Oh,
My man became an urbanist.
Congratulations.
Before we
But
go
I want to
on-
first mention
Okay.
the orange cap and the purple cap.
Yes.
Currently, as things stand, Nicholas Puran is still ahead of Surya Kumar Yadav by 2 runs. He scored.
Surya Kumar Yadav and his instant coffee.
Nicholas Puran has scored 201 runs in 4 games, and Surya Kumar Yadav has a game on him.
That's
5
what it
games,
is.
5 games for 199 runs, but Nicholas Puran is still the orange cap. Other people in contention are Sai Sudarshan, Mitchell Morris, and Joss Butler. Disgusting. Purple
I think
cap.
Shreyas is right behind him, too.
Probably, but he's not in the top 5, so I don't give a
One shot. God damn
garbage
it.
garbage shot
Garbage.
though. And I do have PTS.
But,
From,
oh, captain, my captain. It's okay. It's the Punjab Kings experience.
I do
It
have-
was going to happen sooner or later.
I do have PTS from him playing for KKR with that shot. He gave some of the most important, crucial moments of wickets away with that shot for KKR. But he won us the tournament, so who cares? Purple cap, my boy, my absolute boy, has the purple cap right now. Hardik J. Pandya, 10 wickets in 4
yes.
games. Now, not my absolute boy, the exact opposite of my boy, my not boy, Noor Ahmed, is in close second, 10 wickets in 4 games as well.
But then your other boy
Mohammad Siraj.
and another boy isn't Khalil Ahmed?
Oh, he's number 5.
Yeah.
See, Hazelwood, Khalil Ahmed, and Sai Kishore are tied for 5th with 8 wickets in 4 games.
I think
Mitchell Stark and Mohammad Siraj are tied for 3rd with 9 wickets in 4 games for Siraj and 9 wickets in 3 games for Mitchell Stark. Now, Mitchell Stark took a 5-wicket haul in the first game, and he's taken an average of 2 wickets each in
Yeah.
the games after that. So the purple cap is actually heating up.
Yep. I think Stark kind of has the lead because he has that game in hand and he's in such good form. I think Hazelwood was on a bit of a heater to begin the season, but I don't know how long that's going to continue.
Yeah.
That's my biggest question about RCB is the bowling attack.
Yes.
Before we get to picks, I want to take a little accountability for my team's loss.
Please.
Here, because I want to get the good juju out. And Ars showed me the example by taking accountability for his bad but actually good bowling against LSG. So I want to take some accountability here, you know?
You know what? I'm going to take some accountability too when you're done.
Okay. I got a song to sing. I gotta give a salute to the great American rapper Afro Man here.
You're one of those, huh?
I am one of those. We're gonna do a little musical theater on this podcast.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. Can you believe it? All right. I woulda hit the ball for 6, but I got high. I was gonna field all those missed hits, but I got high. We lost to the Royals, and I know why. Why, man? Yeah. Because I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high.
If only you could see his face after he delivered those bars. It was just stone cold. He had no emotion on his face.
That's what it is to be a PBKS fan, man.
Stop doing it and they'll win. You know what I mean?
No, never.
Fair play.
Never.
Fair play. It's the PZE, I'm telling you. I'd like to take some accountability for myself, too. Can't deny it. Venkatesh Iyer. I didn't mention this in the KKR SRH breakdown because it was such a straightforward game.
What an innings.
60 off 29. I had said he should be subbed out. If he had been subbed out, we never would have gotten this innings. Wasn't dropped a single time, like as in catches-wise in the innings. Clean, good innings, beautifully done. I have no...
And he came in after Ajinkya and Raghuvanshi both lost their wickets in fairly quick succession and just kept the innings going. That was a big problem for PBKS as we had a little sliver of hope at the end, but then Maxwell and Wadera lost their wickets like bam, bam, and we just collapsed from there.
The other thing I want to mention is Rinku Singh has been going at 4 down the entire tournament, and I was telling them that Venkatesh should be subbed off and Rinku Singh should be going 3 and playing that same role. Rinku Singh came in 32 off 17.
Yep.
At
He's
4 down.
back.
He's back. So I guess he's a hitter after all.
And not out. 32 off 17, not out.
Not out. I think he likes the position. And so who am I
Yep.
to mess with what is working?
Yep.
I think this is great. This is working. I don't think they should change a single thing about this. I think they
this
should.
team is good, buddy.
I think Spencer Johnson should not
Send him back to Australia.
He should not be given any more games. Veba Varora
These
is
Australian fast bowlers, they're not sending their best, except they are sending Pat Stark and Mitchell Cummins.
Spencer Johnson, glad he's not getting any more games. Quinton de Kock should stay as is. Sunil Narayan will eventually get there to making some runs. And Veba Varora, the key to this bowling attack, along with, of course, my boy Harshit for the pace attack. I love that we're relying only on Indian pace bowlers in this attack. So yeah, I ate a
Makes
little bit of
good
dirt.
strategic sense, although you do have 2 older West Indian all-rounders that are always going to be in your team. So you want to have as many Indians as you can in the rest of that lineup.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Effectively, you have 2 foreign player slots.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I ate dirt, happily. If Venkatesh Iyer and Rinku Singh can give me, collectively, which is what they did last game, 92 off 46 deliveries.
Beautiful. Our finishing boys.
That's literally a 200 strike rate.
Our finishing boys. Let's go.
200 strike rate.
The boys are back.
A 200 strike rate, that's all I can ask for from these 2 guys, especially 92 runs off it. I'm happy. I'm happy with the way KKR played. I'm not sounding the alarm anymore, which I was doing last podcast. I am still wary of this team because it's KKR and because I've seen the way that... I mean, even Eden Gardens knows it. They're wary of this team because their form is so volatile.
It's too fair weather, man. We're Chargers fans. We know better than that.
It's true.
I don't care if KKR is in last place. You're going to the Edens. It's arguably the most classic cricket venue in India.
It is.
It's arguably like the Fenway Park of India. And you're just not going.
Because of our team.
Bosses, let your workers out. Or I'm telling you, there's 40, 50,000 people in Kolkata that want to see KKR every night that KKR plays.
Yeah.
It's not like you have 130,000 seats to fill like Gujarat.
Now, you're right, you don't have 120,000 seats to fill. It's 68,000 capacity, which is literally half
You can
of that.
find 68,000 people in Kolkata who want to watch KKR.
Of course. between both teams.
You can find
Easily.
68,000 people in Kolkata who want to be in the same building as Shah Rukh Khan. Right? Like,
You can find 68,000 people anywhere
who want
in
to
the
be
world.
In the world.
Shah Rukh Khan is that omnipresent.
They should bring him to Narendra Modi Stadium. Maybe he'll sell it out.
Oh, yeah. Maybe Modi would sell out a stadium.
I don't know if they had the same attendance for. You know what? He shouldn't have brought Trump. That was the problem. Because Trump always depresses crowd size. You know this. We know this. All of his crowds are tiny, just like his hands.
Something to think about for the Gujarat Cricket Association.
Yeah. Bring Shah Rukh Khan and then 130,000 people. Easy.
Easy.
Let's get to picks.
Let's get the picks.
Last week I was 4-4. You were 3-5, which was.
Was I?
Yep, you were 3-5.
3-5 is high, considering I thought I made some bad calls.
Well, the one bad call that cost you was not believing in your team.
KKR.
Yeah.
And not believing in you, not believing in your team, correct?
No, we both. That was my worst call. Was
Not believing in your
not going with my gut and picking Rajasthan.
Yes. I picked PBKS. Those are my two
and-
bad calls. KKR and PBKS, right?
Yeah, and I let you talk me into the second one.
I'm so glad I did. Okay.
I'm going with my gut on all of these.
How many games do we have to call? We have to call 10 games.
Yes.
All right? KKR versus LSG.
LSG.
I'm calling it in favor of KKR at home. You're calling it for LSG. Great.
Yes.
PBKS versus CSK. We're both in
PBKS.
agreement. It's going to be PBKS.
Yeah.
GT versus Rajasthan.
GT.
It's a toughie. I'm going for Rajasthan because their batting is in form now, finally.
It's one of the best batting lineups and one of the best against one of the best bowling lineups. My gut just says GT. I'm going completely off my gut immediately. When you read off the two teams, the first answer that comes to my mind is the one I'm picking.
Fair enough. I mean, I have no gut feeling with regard to these two teams, which is why I think given Rajasthan is a batting strong team, if they can capitalize on that with the chase, nothing like it.
Is this in Gujarat? Or is it in
The
Rajasthan?
Gujarat-Rajasthan game is going to be, in the Modi Stadium.
Okay, yeah, pretty high scoring round.
Yeah. RCB versus Delhi Capitals.
RCB.
I'm going to go with RCB as well. CSK KKR. You know what's interesting about this? It's being played in Chidambaram Stadium. I'm going to go CSK.
Me too.
Yeah. LSG GT.
GT.
Agreed. GT. SRH PBKS for me. It's going to be played in the Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium, which of course is the Hyderabad Stadium.
I think SRH is gonna win.
All right. I won't talk you out of nothing. You're just going to watch me be right. Rajasthan versus RCB. Rajasthan again.
Rajasthan, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Rajasthan. They're going to be playing in the Sawai Mansingh Stadium, which is their fortress.
Finally, they're the last team to play their first game at home because they played their first two in Guwahati. Actually, Delhi too. But Delhi is home against RCB, right?
Delhi is home not against RCB. Okay, we have a few more calls to make.
Yes, we do.
DCMI and LSG CSK. Those are the last two calls. DCMI, it's... You
DC.
know what the thing is?
DC.
I'm going to pivot here, and I'm going to go for Mumbai. Just because I feel like they have to win one. And LSG versus CSK, I'm going to go LSG.
Me too.
Because I feel like it's only a matter of time before DC plays one of those DC games that you're talking about, like the
but-
PBKS experience kind of deal.
But I think they're going to play that game against RCB.
You could be right, because RCB is pretty well-oiled. Even though they're, not so
I also
high
think
on the
RCB
table.
is the best team they've played so far.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
And we'll see.
But they're fresh off a loss, mind you.
Rajasthan Royals were 1-2 and they mowed us the fuck down. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
But again, that was the PZE. So remember that.
and there were also mishitting with precision and such things.
Now that we got that out of the way.
Now that we have picked every game, we have two pieces of Chargers news.
Woo!
Just the two. Although we do have the draft coming up later this month, which is like it's sort of like a podcast holiday, when we have our podcast equinoxes of the year,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That's coming up on the 24th through the 26th. But in the meantime, the Chargers just signed maybe backup quarterback Trey Lance from the Dallas Cowboys.
How do you feel about that?
My first thought was I'm excited to watch the preseason because we have a quarterback competition. So we would have to have not one but two guys that suck for it to really be a bad time, which I'm excited about because it was a terrible time for the last, like, every season because of Easton Stick. So very, very excited about that. And the other thing about Trey Lance is that he was a very, very high draft pick when he was first drafted.
Third overall pick.
Yeah, it's not like we need a really, really good quarterback, although he could end up being decent trade value for a team that needs a quarterback, especially if he plays well in preseason and hopefully he gets a couple of garbage time appearances because Justin Herb takes care of biz and does not appear for any reason, any other reason under the sun. But they traded like 3 first-round picks, or like a bunch of picks to move up and draft. The Niners did to draft him. So yeah, I'm really excited to watch him play in preseason. I'll have plenty to watch for along with the rest of our draft picks. Yeah, man, we can go to a game. We can sit in the VIP section for like $80.
Oh yeah.
Which is like the equivalent of sitting in the whatever, like the IPL corporate box for 80 rupees.
More like 800 rupees. Which is still great.
Maybe 800 rupees.
Yeah, which is still great.
Yeah, it's a good price.
It's a crazy price, actually.
But like $80 for like $800 tickets,
Yeah, that's crazy.
it's nuts. And you get free food. And it's good.
That's actually sick. Yeah.
And free alcohol, but you don't drink, so.
Yeah.
But you could get it.
I could get it and be like, I got it.
Yeah.
But I didn't ingest it.
Yeah.
Nor did I.
You wouldn't
come
have any
anywhere near
need
it.
for it, but it is available to you.
Exactly.
And other listeners who do enjoy a beer or wine, it's not premium alcohol. You got to pay for the premium alcohol. That's what they do. Is
That's how they get you.
They get the fucking like private equity guys in there, and they buy the expensive whiskey, even though they could have free beer if they, didn't have to keep fucking lording their fucking wealth over everybody. I guess they're doing that by being in that section. We're not, because we're only paid $90, $80, 800 rupees. Dean Spanos, 800 rupees. That's all we will pay for your VIP tickets in the preseason. Yeah, second one, I just thought this was notable. I know I've been talking about Colston Loveland, and my gut still says we're going to pick him, but The Athletic has mocked Omarion Hampton of North Carolina to the Chargers in 2 consecutive mock drafts, who is a running back. He's flown up the draft boards. I saw him as like kind of a second-round pick for a little while. Definitely on a lot of draft boards. But he's flown up. He had a big combine. And yeah, I think it's just worth noting. Another potential draft guy to look forward to. He's the second best running back in the class after Ashton Genty, who quite a lot of people, and this mock draft included, think is going to go in the top 10. Which is, for a running back, that's kind of surprising. A little bit. Considering that like 2 years ago, all the discourse was about how running backs can't get paid. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. You always want somebody who can do. It's always the tight ends that get a lot of money as well.
Tight ends do. Wide receivers, quarterbacks get the most.
Yeah. You don't see any linemen racking up huge contracts.
The offensive linemen, you do. A few of them. Laramie Tunsil makes a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
I saw this article about this guy from the Browns who was listing his house. He was an offensive lineman, and it was a big-ass house. It's a big fucking house, and it was an expensive house. It's like a $10 million house or something.
No, it's not too bad. I was thinking something like 50 million or something crazy.
No, they're not oligarchs.
That's what I thought. I was like quarterbacks.
That's
straight
true.
up oligarchs, right? So I'm talking about in
I
comparison
bet
to.
Justin Herb just lives in a regular house and didn't tell anybody.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely.
He sounds like that kind. He seems like that kind of guy.
Yeah. But he built an entire underground biology lab underneath his house. He would do that.
Oh yeah.
And he also bought the nicest grill on the planet. There's YouTube videos of that.
I know. I saw him.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
It made me really hungry. Yeah. All right. I think we've covered it.
What a pod.
What a pod. And next week, you're going to want to tune in because Shohei Ohtani
Fresh off his Trump White House tour,
He will be here to atone for his Trump White House tour by officially declaring that he is becoming urbanism Stalin of America and will be so until there is a Shinkansen in between every 2 conceivable American cities, i.e. I need a Shinkansen to get between here and Glendale. They better build one. And Shohei's going to tell you to do it. In my opinion. Next week on this podcast.
and he's also going to talk about.
That's
the
not my
Dodgers-
opinion.
He's also going to talk about the Dodgers' first loss of the season.
Yes. It took quite a while.
8 straight wins followed by the loss.
It took quite a while. It took even longer than the Delhi Capitals, which is impressive.
It is impressive. And we're going to talk about Dodgers' current season, which was 8-0 and now 9-3.
And I dare say, April 12th, which is in between now and our next podcast, you and I will be attending a Los Angeles Dodgers game.
Let's flip and go.
So you can listen to us be self-indulgent and talk about the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah. Tune in.
You can hear about cricket if it were way more boring, but also a little bit more interesting than that because it's the Dodgers. So, for Aryan Ori, Prab Simran Singh, and everyone else associated with the NFL's 407-7th team, my name is Nick Cates, and I am saying, well...
I've got so much to say and so little time to say it. Great job, everybody.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!